So it has happened. Natasha Howard, her free agency destination has been revealed, and it is not the Fever. Hi, first of all, before we go into anything, want to thank Natasha Howard for last season. Thank Natasha Howard for the Commissioner's Cup win, because that was incredible. Natasha Howard turned back the clock and looked like prime Natasha Howard again to win a Commissioner's Cup final. That being said, was not ideal the rest of the year. But if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are trying to hit 59 or 58.5 thousand subscribers by the end of the day. That would be incredible if we could. But we got to talk about this one. First of all, it means the Indiana Fever have one more free agency splash. My guess is they've got 9 players sorted. My guess is that they're going to have one more decent level player. First of all, I do actually think that Sophie Cunningham probably got paid way more than we would have liked, but on a 1-year deal. What the Indiana Fever did not do was overpay for a role player on a long-term deal. I think Indiana Fever might have overpaid for a role player on a short-term deal, and I think there's a very good chance they overpaid for a role player on a short-term deal. They did not overpay for a player on a long-term deal. The Valks are an interesting team. They're running it back. But the Minnesota Lynx, I don't know what they're trying to do. I actually don't know what the Minnesota Lynx are trying to do. I don't get it. Are they trying to, run it back? Are they trying to, go for a title? Are they trying to just give a bunch of vets max contracts and call it a day? I don't know what the purpose of what the Minnesota Lynx are doing right now is. I'm not entirely sure. Because, Natasha Howard clearly did not fit with Caitlin Clark. But, I don't know. Does Natasha Howard fit with, does she fit at all with, with the Lynx? And, she signed a not insignificant contract. She signed for 1.4 mil over 2 years. That being said, I do believe there are worse players than Natasha Howard that got paid more. I do not believe that Jess Shepherd is better than Natasha Howard. I cannot stress that enough. I do not believe that Jess Shepherd is better than Natasha Howard. If at any stage I did suggest Jessica Shepherd to the Indiana Fever, it was with the expectation that Jess Shepherd was going to be cheap. I had no idea. I mean it. I had no idea that Natasha Howard was somehow going to cost $400K a year less than Jess Shepherd. And if we're being real here, it was genuinely one of the biggest shocks for me in free agency. I do believe that is one of the biggest shocks in free agency is the Jess Shepherd $1 million contract. That one's kind of wild. That one is kind of wild. But at the end of the day, we have now got well, she's just gone. She's not going to be there for the foreseeable for the Fever. I don't think he's going to come back. And the hilarious thing is Natasha Howard is now just going back through teams. She was drafted to the Fever and now is back to the Fever. Then she went and signed to the Lynx where she won 2 titles. But I don't think winning 2 titles is really enough to be okay, yeah, this is no question about it. This is no question about it a sure thing that we need to bring back. But I don't know. For me, it just feels like this is one of these this is a move that the Lynx are making purely because they're kind of out of options. If we're being real, the Lynx are kind of out of options. They don't really have that much pulling power. They really don't. And I'm you've now got You've lost Alana Smith and replaced her with Natasha Howard, who's going to have to come in as a starter more than likely. Like, it's not ideal. It is not ideal at all. Like, having to go and see a player that is, for lack of a better word, like a iffy bet, like a vet. Like a vet like Howard, go to a team that I don't think needs her. And like, they're in win now mode as well. It just, for me, none of this makes sense. None of what's going on makes any sense when it comes to this Natasha Howard signing. I'm glad that she's not signed for us, because I'm like, Natasha Howard, at this stage in her career, I don't understand with Cheryl Reeve's system how exactly Natasha Howard is going to be a positive asset. Like, not only like how she's going to be good, like I just don't understand how she's going to be a positive with this team. Like, I think she's just decided she wanted to go back to, like, she wanted to just go back to the Lynx. And I think this is, for me, I'm like, okay, cool. I did not want to see Natasha Howard play with Fever again. I didn't want to see it. And the thing is that, like, I think there's a difference, is that at least now she left at a time where we're still going to be thankful for the Commissioner's Cup. We are still going to be thankful for the Commissioner's Cup. Natasha Howard is going to leave as I'm not going to say, as a modern Fever legend. She was MVP in a Commissioner's Cup final. Like, there's a lot to be said for that. But there's a big but here. Like, you can be a modern team legend and overstay your welcome, and it does not, and then suddenly your reputation goes down the shitter. But it's not. Natasha Howard's she's going to go and play in Minnesota. She's going to go and play for the 8th seed in the playoffs. Probably average more points than she did for the Fever. Be the starter till Fee comes back. And she'll hold it down, you know. Like, she'll probably hold down the starting spot for the first, like, couple of months of the season. And to be honest, like, to get a starter at 700k isn't bad. Especially if you're Minnesota, considering your entire starting five from last year on max contracts. I still think it's not the worst move in the world. It's not the worst move in the world for the Lynx. That being said, like, I don't know when it comes down to Minnesota if they're clearly trying to make the playoffs. I think they are. I think Cheryl Reeve, Fee Collier in the system is more than good enough to make the playoffs. But, like, is the hope that they can get in as a lower seed and maybe not get a bigger seed early on? Like, but we also cannot forget this. And by the way, can we not forget this right here? Where Caitlin decided to tie her shoes. Caitlin made a pass and decided she was going to go tie her shoes mid-play. Can we not forget Caitlin realizing she's not getting the ball? And never forget Caitlin against against New York. She had 25 points in the first half, by the way. At this point in time, Caitlin Clark had 25 points in the first half. Caitlin Clark kicked the ball into Natasha Howard. They doubled off Caitlin for no reason. And then instead of kicking the ball back out to Caitlin, Natasha Howard took a shimmy, spin, hook shot and missed it. And Caitlin Clark threw her arms to the heavens. And was like, oh, look at his body language. And I remember the response was like, I remember my response was literally just like, she had 25 points in 14 minutes on the floor at this stage. Natasha Howard had 1 point or 2 points up to this point. She shot a shimmy hook shot over a double team instead of giving the ball to a player going on a generational heater. Like, that is the Natasha Howard. And the thing is that, and for better or for worse, like, you don't get to where Natasha Howard got to in basketball without believing you are the best player in the world. Like, you don't get to being a depoy, multiple-time All-Star, max contract for most of your time in the league, 3-time champion, dominating overseas. You don't get to that point without believing you're the best in the world. And Natasha Howard absolutely believes she's the best player in the world. There's no question about that. And I don't think just wasn't a good, as a vet leader, it might have been, and as an emotional for leadership, it might have been a good fit. But you know what? I'm not going to say good riddance because that's a bit unfair to Howard, but I am very happy Natasha Howard is gone. Anyway, I'll see you guys.